Yo, what's up everyone? Vasquez, this is Valoramous. In today's DJ tutorial, we're going to discuss the most popular BPMs in music so that you as the DJ will know which BPM should be your home bases as you're performing a live open format gig, which is multi-genre music in pop, hip hop, Latin, electronic dance music, hard dance, etc., and also rock and roll. That way you will have a framework and understanding of how modern music is produced today, and so you will know which BPMs you should be gravitating towards as you perform live during a DJ gig. So we're gonna review some data, and I'm gonna show you some statistics behind modern day music, and then this will give you a rationale for why you should maintain centers of gravity around these various BPMs while you're performing live. All right, what's up everyone, and welcome to my quick tutorial video on the 4 most common BPMs that you should be familiar with as an open format DJ or multi-genre DJ. So in order to provide a bit of explanation for this video, I wanted to actually give you some data so you can actually see that I'm not just discussing this out of thin air, that there actually is some science behind this, because in order to be a great open format DJ, you must understand the music that resonates most with the generation that is most likely to attend your gigs. And so whether you're doing a private event with multiple genres and multiple generations, or you're doing a public event at a nightclub with a younger audience, but with multiple genres, I believe it's important to still understand the centers of gravity as a DJ in terms of which BPMs you should target when formulating your crates and deciding which tracks to play at which times. So I have concluded there are about 4 BPMs as an open format DJ that you must utilize as centers of gravity, and those are approximately 75 BPM, about 95 BPM, maybe 100, 128, and then 150. So we're going to get into the science here, and this will make a bit more sense. So I found this article right here, Fair Use. This is an article discussing the musical tempos that people stream the most. And we can scroll down here, look at the data. 90 to 99 BPM is the most popular tempo range. So you can see this distribution here. You can see that there's spikes between 80 BPM and about 150 BPM. And then there's drop-offs on either side. So it's sort of a skewed bell curve that skews to one side. And 90 to 99 BPM makes a lot of sense actually, because a lot of hip-hop, pop music, or top 40 music, and Latin music is written in this tempo range. And it's because this tempo range is fast enough to be dancey, but it's not so fast enough to where the lyricist or the singer cannot adequately maintain flow and record and perform vocals for the track. Now, I like to say 75, maybe 80 is more appropriate, but 75 you will see matters as a BPM, because this is mathematics as well too. Remember, DJing is mathematics, like my initial video as a DJ. At 150, that is the tempo that is most likely to be hard dance or hard style music. So if you're an open format DJ, you must pay attention to 150, because at 150, you can then go back down to 75, which is a very slow, down-tempo hip-hop track. And then from 75, then you can go up to 80, 85, 90, 95, which is the more popular range. So the next most popular tempo is again 95. You see there's a slight dip between here and 128. So that's why I like to say you want to have a center of gravity around here between 75 and 85. You want to have a center of gravity here around 95, maybe up to 100. And then this is like an up-tempo electro pop tempo. So think of some of these popular pop stars from the early 2010s or late 2000s. A lot of them operate in this 110 to 119 range, but you can see there's a noticeable dip here. And then at 120 to 129, there's another slight peak. And really that is from 124 to 128, which are common tempos for house music and EDM music. So that is the 3rd most popular tempo, is going to be about 128. So that's your EDM tempo, just classic EDM tempo range. And then there's another dip, and then there's a slight peak at 140 to 149, but let's call it 150. Now, I think songs in 140 to 149 that would stream the most, you'll notice here with this data set, it actually states that hip hop is popular in this, is a popular genre within this range. right here. And if you know anything about music, you know that a lot of hip hop artists are not performing at 140 to 149. This is really 70 to 75. So that's why I say 75 is it's a center of gravity for you as a DJ in terms of one of these 4 BPMs that you should think about a way to structure your sets, because as you're moving through the night, you're not going to maintain the same tempo the entire night, but you also do not want to get stuck at an odd tempo to where it's hard to transition to another tempo. So a lot of times when I'm conducting my sets, I'll have a bit of the night performed around 75, and then I'll try to somewhat quickly move up to about 95. There may be a slight pause in there for a few tracks at 85, but generally I'm moving between 75 to 95. And then from 95, it is somewhat hard to move to 128, but what you can do is you can find a track that's at 100, 105, 110, 115, and you can get there as like a stepping stone method to get to 128. Once you get to 128, you can hang out around 128 for a while, and this can be pop music, there's some rock music, there is some hip hop music, electro dance, electro pop, EDM, house music. This is a great energetic tempo to maintain DJ sets, and so I recommend hanging around this tempo for a while. And then from 128 or 130, you want to relatively quickly move up to 150. That way you can give a very, very climatic amount of energy to your set that your audience will probably not be able to maintain for too long of a period unless they're that type of crowd. But from 150, you can slow the tempo back down to 75, and you can see that this becomes a bit of a loop in terms of your centers of gravity as a DJ at the various tempos. So I wanted to show you this article because there is some science behind this, but you'll notice there's certain tempos and certain genres that are more popular than others in modern music. Right here from July 2019 to July 2021, you'll notice that 90 to 99 BPM became slightly less popular, and then 120 to 129 became slightly more popular. So that's a trend in terms of EDM is becoming more popular as pop, hip-hop, Latin music is declining. You can interpret it that way. Another article right here is distribution of music. You'll notice a peak here at 128 because there is a lot of music performed there, but look at this box. This is the range as a DJ that you should be performing in. This is what I get at, so this is the conclusion that I drew. So 80 to about 160, that's your box. It's rare to be performing between 50 to 70 BPM. You can see there is a slight bump here at 75. Beyond 150 to 160, you're getting into drum and bass, so unless you're performing a niche gig, you're probably not going to go into that tempo range too much. And that's why I say look at these slight peaks. You'll notice one at 75. You'll notice there's a boost here between 95 and 100. And then you'll notice a big peak of 128. So center of gravity, 75 to 80. Center of gravity, 95 to 100. Center of gravity 128, and then a final center of gravity here around 150, which then you could jump back to 175 BPM. So that is how you can structure your mindset as a DJ, structure your sets. Think about these centers of gravity, and then go out and execute that gig to the best of your ability. Hang around 75 to 80 for a bit. Try to quickly move up to 95 to 100. Hang around there for a bit, and then try to quickly move up to 128, and you can hang around there for a longer time. Move to 150 quickly. Hang around there, not for too long, go back down to 75. Of course, there's other techniques to transition. If the crowd's not feeling 128, they're not enjoying a fast-paced part of the night with high amounts of energy because maybe they're having dinner if it's a private event, or it's earlier in the night and you mistakenly jumped up to that tempo too quickly. There's techniques to get out of this. You can basically scratch a track on the 1 and quickly move back down to say 95 BPM to reduce the energy a bit. But think about these centers of gravity, because if you move to 110 BPM, if you go to 85, if you go to 108 BPM, there's not as many tracks written in these tempos, and we know that to be the case from this data here. We see 80 to 89 is popular, 90 to 99 is popular, 120 to 129 is popular, and then 140 to 149, really 150 in my opinion, these are popular. So think about these as your center of gravity as you're planning your sets. So there you have it. If you have any other comments or feedback on this video or other suggestions that you think could help other watchers of this video, then please leave those in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.
3, 2, 1, lose it.